Well, St. Louis, Missouri has received $1 million of federal grant to fight homelessness. The Department of Housing and Urban Development will be supplying the funds to quickly rehouse up to 150 people. As of now, there are 1,300 people experiencing homelessness in the St. Louis area. And on the phone with us now is a homeless advocate for helping the homeless, our homeless organization, Tina Crawford, who now talks to us about putting her work and trying to put homelessness to an end. And we welcome Tina to the show now. Tina, good to have you.
Thanks for inviting me. I have to tell you, I have a little cold, a little scratchy throat here, but I think I can make it.
Well, it's good to have you. And as we're talking about homelessness here, obviously the reason, we want to talk to you is because homelessness is a big issue right here in New York City. And of course, when you look at New York and you look at St. Louis, we can find a lot of the common threads and the common denominators. Talk to us a little bit about St. Louis and what's going on there.
Well, we have a bunch of things going on here. Right now, it's stating that the homeless rate or impoverished rate is about, in the city of St. Louis, is about 29.2% up from 27%. And the criminalization of homelessness is just off the board. I mean, it's off the rails. It's crazy. They're not doing anything for them. Alderman Jack Kotar is trying to push through the committee. We call it the Anti-Samaritan Act. Push through this thing requiring all us not-for-profit charities and volunteers like myself. I have a charity and I'm a volunteer who gets in the trenches with the homeless people, hands out donations, clothes, provisions for the winter, food, everything. I mean, some of the places I volunteer, they get hot catered meals. Shower trucks come in. Washer and dryer trucks come in. They're all non-for-profit. This alderman, Jack Kotar, is trying to push through proposal number 66 that states that not only is requiring volunteers to have a vendor's license. A vendor's license is when, like those parade guys that go down the route and they sell their little goods for a profit, they have to have a vendor's license. Now he's throwing in there all you charity, faith-based people, non-for-profit charities and volunteers have to get a vendor's license every single time you help the homeless. And he's now throwing in there a little more stuff, and it's so ridiculous. We have a petition on my Facebook homeless page, Helping Our OUR Homeless, to sign, because basically what it's going to do is going to shut us all down, and he's going to strip food from babies. I mean, nobody will be fed.
And let me jump in here, too, because I want to talk to you about some of the challenges that you guys are having out there. And one of the things that we understand is that when it comes to the homeless population right now, what we're seeing are numbers increasing, and particularly those when it comes to the issue of overdoses and overdoses within the homeless community. Can you give us a little bit of a perspective there?
Yeah, it is going up exponentially. It's so sad. I mean, just 10 died in the evangelistic center for the homeless just a week ago, and 5 were sent to the hospital on this drug. It's like it's the new manufactured drug. I've never seen it or heard of it except for one other time, and they all died. It is because they're so criminalized. They're turned away from the shelters. There's not enough shelters for one. There's no outreach programs going on, hardly any. Between the politicians, the so-called experts, where they drop the ball, us non-for-profit people who go in there and hand out and work with them and give them everything and do everything possible for them. I mean, head to toe. I mean, I had a campaign called Backpack of Hope, but we're broke, so we can't do it, where I would get backpacks and fill them, good backpacks, and fill them to the brim with everything from a flashlight, canned foods that were nutritional, but some, everybody has to have chocolate, but with all pop-top lids. If they didn't have a pop-top lid, then they were given a can opener. And they get every hygiene product full size I put in there, washcloths, raincoat, lotion, toothbrush, everything, pen, notepad, and they want to shut us down, or make us get a vendor's license or shut us down. So the shelters, they're trying to shut down Larry Rice's shelter. So it's just crazy. And do you ever, they don't get it that if the politicians would actually, like the Alderman Jack Kotar, who is he's very humbled to represent the poor and the impoverished and the homeless.
Well, Tina, let me ask you this: when you talk about St. Louis, and let's talk about New York for a minute. when you look at New York, you know the situation that we've got going here, but we also have some great things that are actually working for us. When you look at New York and you see some of the things that are working, what are some of the things that you can honestly take from here over there that maybe can actually assist you with your efforts?
Oh, there's so many things different states are doing. I mean, many of you know, homeless have tents, and they go back in the woods and they'll set up what we call Tent City. So you'll see a ton of tents all crammed together, kind of trying to hide away from the police officers, because they'll put into city ordinance it's illegal to do that, which the federal law says it's not. The U.S. Constitution, the supreme law of land, protects the homeless. They don't care. They put up these city ordinances, states that says, no, it's illegal. It's illegal to feed them. It is not. It's against the 1964 Civil Rights Act. It's not illegal to be homeless. It's not illegal to feed them. So what they do is they make a big production, get 4 police cars out there, a bulldozer, and a truck, the dumpster guys who take the trash, all in like a little parade route, and just bulldoze that tent city down with all their meager, very few possessions. Some of them actually work. Their work clothes are in there. So they don't care about it. They will not allow tents. And the thing is, other cities are now putting like those big dumpsters where waste management can come in and pick them up and dump the trash. They're putting them at the tent city sites. That, you know what? They throw so much money at the homeless to bust them out of the city. They literally pay another city to take their homeless.
And when we talk about that, I mean, and when we talk about paying and giving money, St. Louis has received $1 million of federal grant to combat homelessness. And of course, what we're going to do is continue to follow that and correlate what's going on here in New York and be able to see what's going on between New York and St. Louis. And Tina, we want to thank you for...
Yes, Mayor Slay has received $1 million as a federal grant, and HUD gets $11.5 million a year to divide up among continuum of care. That is a little program that is the best program in the world, and is not. No one knows where it is in our city.
Well,
not even aldermen. They're the little guys that get funded by HUD. They're the guys that don't just take a key from a homeless guy and put it in his hand and say, now we're relabeling you as housed.
Tina, we're gonna have to leave, but definitely we're gonna continue to follow this, and we'll be talking with you as we break down. As we said, St. Louis is the recipient of a $1 million federal grant to combat homelessness. Tina Crawford been our guest, sharing a little bit about the homeless situation in St. Louis.
Real quick.
Thank you very much.
Homeless on Facebook. You can join. You'll love it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tina Crawford, all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. And we are encouraging you, stay with us. We got more show coming right back right after this.